Excellent. Good evening. It's February 7th, 2023, 5:30 p.m. This is the ACT Committee meeting with Nick Allen, Brian McGinnis, and Patrick McCoy. We're going to call this meeting to order on time at 5:30. Item number 2 is comments, suggestions, petitions by residents in attendance regarding items not on the agenda. Seeing none, we'll move on to item 3A, which is our Borough Manager report.
Thank you very much. This report is brief. We have some, the borough's hiring right now. If you go to our website, we're hiring personnel in building and housing, parks and recreation, police department, and wastewater all at the same time. And this is all thanks to our team efforts, but mostly being led by our Director of HR, John Krauser. And I wanted to recognize him tonight because he completed the eligibility and exam requirements to become a certified professional through the Society for Human Resource Management. The SHRM certification is for HR professionals who develop organizational culture, manage change, leaders in their profession, and we congratulate him on this achievement. We look forward to his work with the borough. So thank you, John. On Thursday, January 26th, Westchester hosted the monthly Westchester Area Council of Government meeting. Our council representative on that board is here with us tonight, Patrick McCoy. So in attendance at that meeting were managers and elected officials from our neighboring municipalities. And we discussed risks and action plans to address issues around cybersecurity. We assembled a panel of that included 2 insurance professionals. Lieutenant Josh Lee joined us from the police department, and our own Bill Mann joined us virtually from Florida to answer questions and provide feedback from his perspective. And a copy of Bill's presentation was posted to YouTube for our partners to learn from. So thank you, Bill, for phoning it in, so to speak.
I didn't want to say anything, but while I was doing it in my resort room, Mickey and all his pals were outside the window waiting for me to come out and play. So I really sacrificed for this one.
And lastly, I have some good news to report. The Borough Administrative Code, it mandates that the Borough Manager report to Council on at least a biennial basis on its insurance providers. So we need to be looking at our general liability insurance, workers' comp, auto, property, health, and presenting to you options that we've examined. So this effort was led by our broker, Assured Partners, who helps the borough take its insurance needs to the market. And that was handled over the last few months of 2022. So while we were going through that process, we budgeted for a 7% increase in the overall cost because that was the quote we were getting back from our current provider, about a 7% increase. But after we took the portfolio to market and we got an estimate back on December 2022, we were able to secure a significant decrease in the cost for the policy period that begins January 1, 2023 and ends January 1st, 2024. Compared to budget, it's a savings of $247,000. We spend about $1 million a year in premium. We had budgeted $1 million and $62,000 more or less for this collection of insurance services. So we're really happy. Although we've received nothing but good service from our current underwriter and our claims team, this price difference was just really too much to pass up. So we bound the coverage with our new underwriter, Paragon Trident, for the policy period. So we're managing that transition right now, and it's a positive outcome in terms of our budget. So we have to do things a little bit different on filing claims, but I think this is a really good move on the part of the borough to save some money on these costs.
Any questions?
That's apples to apples. The deductibles don't change, anything like that?
It's like they're apples, but it's like a golden yellow versus a Yukon gold or something like that. That sometimes you can't get the same limits of coverage that you did the prior year, but there are details we can go over, and our broker is happy to come in and talk with all of council if you want about how how the fruit compares from year over year. But we definitely wanted to keep our deductibles in place. We didn't want to see any, we wanted our umbrella coverage not to diminish. And certain types of insurances the insurance market's not static. Some types of insurances are harder to get and more expensive, cybersecurity being one of them. There's not many underwriters that'll cover you for that risk. But we were able to locate one that will.
Any other questions? Great, thank you so much. Any public comments or questions tonight? Excellent. We can move on to item 3B, which is our annual report from our IT department.
Okay, so I broke down my annual report into a small presentation. Okay. So this is only the highlights. You want to read the whole thing up, I can give it to you. Okay. So one thing, IT services continue to be the backbone of our organization. Of course, it's through these coordinated and connected infrastructures and softwares that we have that we remain productive, collaborative, and secure. One note here, because of a reliance on connected services, our cybersecurity budget, you can see that trend from 2019 through 2023. I just ran ahead a little bit to this year, where it really has grown to about 45% of our budget operations. Money well spent. Of course, the IT department continues to adapt and change with both the national technology landscape and the needs of our own organization. While some services that we used to do, like enterprise applications and data management, have shifted, that has given us more time for our cybersecurity efforts, which have equally grown in importance and time. So it's been a real good change for us at the right time. The physical infrastructure, just so everyone knows what it includes a lot of things. It includes our virtual hosts, servers, firewalls, or VPNs, or backup appliances, video and security services, audio recording and streaming like we're doing here tonight, network switches, access points, cameras, computers, mobile devices, digital document servers, and much more. So it's all of these physical things that allow us to do our jobs that we're managing. Some of the projects that we accomplished last year was firewall and VPN services. So what we did was we, for the first time, added the 2 wastewater plants under our network by putting firewalls there and connecting them to us. So now they enjoy the same security and protections that we have here, and they can connect to all the same services. And we also upgraded the firewalls at both parking garages and at Public Works. They were aging. We added, for cybersecurity, we added what we call Content Shield, and this just gives us the ability to monitor and manage the internet traffic in the building. So it's a good liability protection. It's a good performance protection too. So it doesn't allow certain things. And so it's a good way to manage performance and security. And of course, we also added Fishline, which was another big enhancement this year, which allows us to do regular phishing campaigns and audits with our staff. We do that on a monthly basis at least, and it really allows us to monitor how they respond and talk to employees one-on-one and talk to them in a training manner, in addition to all the other training we provide to them. Of course, we upgraded the hybrid video streaming up services in this room. It sounds a lot nicer. It's a lot easier for IT to use. So that was a good enhancement. Connectivity at the Taylor Run wastewater plant has been a problem for years. All we could get down there for them was DSL. Remember that? Whenever poor Mike Finley would connect in, you actually heard the phone line ring. Maybe think of America Online in the 90s, right? And Comcast, earlier this year, we were working with them. Verizon refused to talk to us. They wanted $8,000 to run a line. So we kind of thought out of the box and we talked to T-Mobile, and we got a 5G router down there, and they have really good high-speed internet for about $40 a month. So that was a nice addition. Of course, we're in the finishing phases of updating our website. It's going to look clean and new and exciting. So we'll probably have that for you in the February or March. And then also this year, we got together, Jeff and I, and we worked out a good cybersecurity response plan. So this kind of guides us and identifies threats that are out there, and it tells us how to respond if there is a problem. It's something we continually update and look at. So it's a guide. Think of it as our emergency response plan, but for cybersecurity. So this is something that we're continually working on, but it's something we refer to and update. Isn't this fun? So this went through some people know what's happening in cybersecurity just in our organization. So in the year 2022, there were 1,142 automated cybersecurity threats that were automatically stopped. Now, even though Barracuda stops these, we normally take the time to double check them. It uses artificial intelligence, and sometimes some of the lagging emails can still be out there. So we often will stop and double check even these. Incident response, this is one that I'm proud of. These are 377 incidents that were reported to us by staff that got through the shield. Some of them Jeff or I found first, but many of them our own staff found and reported to us right away. And that really tells me that training and communication and working together, the staff can step it up, and they become your cybersecurity heroes. Account takeover, this is we only have 2 of these, but this is when someone tries to get into one of our accounts and break into it. Usually both of these were from suspicious locations, and they were stopped through our solution. Our disaster recovery system is, we have an on-premise appliance that backs up our servers. It also backs the same servers up in the cloud. And then we have cloud-to-cloud backup, which is also backing up all the Microsoft 365 data, which is really about 80% of the things we do is sitting in Microsoft. So it's backing that up cloud to cloud. Remember, it's done with the cybersecurity stuff. Content manager, we talked about that already. What that does, it manages the internet traffic. This is very important. I only did this twice this year. Something always happens. I try to do it 4 times. That can kind of be an overreach, I think, where we actually sit in the classroom with staff and we do coordinated cybersecurity training. I record those for staff who cannot make it. I'm going to try to get to do 3 of those this year. I put this on here because this is my favorite month of the year. It's not my birthday month, it's October, because it's Cybersecurity Awareness Month. And since everyone knows, since 2004, the United States has declared this Cybersecurity Month. It's very, very nice month. So this year's, so you have a targeted message that you work on with your staff throughout the month. It's a weekly event. So this year was See Yourself in Cybersecurity, and these are the things we discussed with the staff each week. Each week we covered these 4 things in detail, and then we did have cybersecurity training afterwards where we kind of followed up on all of this. Employees love it, believe me. Help desk, this is one of the backbones of what IT does. Before I get to the numbers, I would say only about 70% of what we do for staff ends up in the help desk application. So when there's a ticket that needs to be done, someone needs help, anything from Excel to a printer or something's not working, they just want advice, help. They are supposed to put a ticket in. It alerts us. We have an app, it alerts our phone, it documents all the activity, it allows us to do workflow and manage our tickets. So only about 70% really end up there. So with that in mind, so last year we had about 820 tickets in the system. So that's pretty on par with every year of the past 5 years. So he's in the 800s, it seems. These aren't always broken things. They're coming to us for help. Like, I can't make this spreadsheet do this, or something like that. Or it's day-to-day workload. This year, I took the time to take the high performance leadership course through ICMA and Professional Development Academy. That was a weekly course for 12 weeks, where it's included several hours of classwork, an hour of a small breakout group, and then another day where all 70 local government leaders were in this class. Very well worth it. You can see the things we covered: leadership mindset and positive engagement, leading effective change, communication and collaboration, and leading high performance teams. They were covered over phases. Very good course. I'm very glad I took that. I'll look ahead to this year real quickly. We're going to complete that website refresh in the next couple of weeks. We're going to be adding another enhancement to our security, and that is the data inspector, which will scan all of our documents in 365 for personal identifiable information and allow staff to act on that. So something we're going to have to build out a workflow and a management structure once we get that system in place. That system just launched at the last quarter of last year, so we're really going to be one of the first local government customers using that. We're going to be expanding our 2-factor authentication. Right now it's for 365 and cloud services, but it's going to be coming to a domain level. So when employees log in onto their local computer, it's going to ask them or push out a 2-factor authentication for them. I mean, I consider that an insider threat. So if I steal Dana's password, I can't get into her computer without it giving her, I would never steal your password, Dana. It's too much work in there. I don't want to go in there. But it really does protect, it's an insider threat protection for us. We're working on that right now. We're testing it. We're going to be upgrading our disaster recovery in a big way, much more space. We're going from like 5 terabytes to 24 terabytes of protection. Of course, we're going to be doing acoustical treatments in the Borough Council chambers. We've already had some sound design testing in here. That's when all the balloons, you're seeing all the balloons look like a party in here. So we're getting ready to get a report on that. Of course, we do every year with our capital investment. We'll be replacing a lot of the workstations throughout the organization on a planned schedule. Once again, I put it on because it's so exciting. Cybersecurity Awareness Month is only 8 months away, so I'm already planning for it. And of course, I really take a lot of enjoyment in working with Nick, the Enterprise Application Manager. We're working together on the property management related services, which is Brightly, and Cardiograph, which is asset management. These are going to be two applications that are going to serve the borough for a very long time in a coordinated way. And that's it. Sorry I took so long. But I knew we had a little extra time. Any questions for me?
Questions?
Thank you. I feel pretty confident saying I think we probably have the best IT department in local government.
Yeah, I definitely do not have any questions. Thank you for all that information. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Any public questions, comments, concerns? Great. Thanks again. Seeing none, we can move on to item 4A, which is to approve a letter of grant endorsement for Chester County Department of Facilities for exterior courthouse renovation.
So we were contacted by Jan Bowers, who we work a lot with she's Department of Facilities, and Bill has a great picture here. If you could scroll down to the second picture on the right, those columns in front of the courthouse that face High Street are actually iron over top a brick column, and they need some TLC. They need some love. And the county's looking for a grant through the PHMIC to help fund the painstaking restoration of this historic resource. And they want a letter of endorsement from the municipality saying we're in favor of that. And we've already spoken to the Harbin Historic Commission about that. And we're in concurrence with their support for this. So if we can get some state money to help the county refurb those columns, we think it's a good thing.
Any questions?
Yes. How much would that grant be for that they're asking? Do you know offhand?
Yeah.
Any other questions? Seems straightforward to me. I guess we can go ahead and call that 3-0. Is that okay? Cool. And then lastly on our action items is 4B, which is to approve our meeting minutes from January. And I had no concerns with that.
No questions.
All right, we'll call that 3-0. Any other business tonight? Mayor DeBaptiste, did you raise your hand? Oh, okay, you're fixing your hair. All right, I just, out of the corner of my eye, saw you. All right, any other business tonight? All right, seeing none, we can go ahead and adjourn at 5:49. Thank you.